If you were to tell me that Buggy, Dracula Mihawk, and Crocodile were all going to be part of this faction that is going to be terrorizing the One Piece world in the form of going after Marines, putting out bounties, the force to be watching out for in the final saga of One Piece, I think I would have told you were crazy. After the events of chapter 1056, we have a new group in the story in the form of the Cross Guild, headed by Buggy the Clown, and he's not alone because he has the likes of Dracula Mihawk and Crocodile in his forces. Now, there's still a lot that needs to be discussed in regards to how Buggy became a Yonko, because I think we're still due those answers. Obviously, we know that he was being attacked by the Marines right before, going into the third act of Wano. And since then, we know that he came out of it as a Yonko because now he's alongside the likes of Blackbeard, Shanks, and Luffy. Seeing how things have transpired and have gone in the story to where now not only is he one of the 4 Emperors of the Sea, he's able to have the likes of Mihawk and Crocodile. Like, think about it for a second. Mihawk is someone who I've envisioned to be on the same level at the very least of the Admirals, and someone who would be the closest to going up against the likes of the Yonko. Crocodile, for me, is someone that, again, has like more of his own schemes, his own plans, stuff that he wants to do under his own terms. And he feels like someone who doesn't look like he would work alongside Buggy, let alone work underneath him. Obviously, we know that he had his own organization before. He had Baroque Works. He had a whole bunch of people working underneath him. Stuff happened, of course, of Luffy and Alabasta. Now he's gone from being the leader of his own organization to now working either alongside or underneath the likes of Buggy the Clown. It's crazy. The point of this conversation that I wanted to bring up in regards to the Cross Guild now having this presence in the story, that they're now issuing bounties not on civilians, not on pirates, and not on criminals, but the people who represent justice itself, the Marines. And to me, that is a huge game changer in some capacities. Obviously, we know the likes of Luffy, Law, and Kid have already altered the world in one aspect, and that is by taking out the likes of Kaido and Big Mom. That alone itself has changed the 3 great powers in its own way. I mean, we know that the SSG have taken over from the Warlords. That's a game changer, but taking out the likes of Kaido and Big Mom, who have stood the test of time in terms of the Yonko system for as long as they have, is huge. Then you have something that affects the mortal world, the civilians, the natural balance in terms of a normal life. But the likes of those who represent justice are now being the ones who are targeted. And I find it fascinating because obviously we've come to terms with the fact that bounty hunters don't really have that heavy of a presence in the story. I know we had Zoro before, who was a former bounty hunter. Johnny Yosaku, who are alongside with him at a point in time, now become fishermen. I'm not trying to see Abdul and Jeet's Bizarre Adventure as them being in that category. And then you have the likes after of Caribou, who I feel fits more of what's going on right now with the Cross Guild, given the fact that he is this notorious Marine slayer upon his introduction after the time skip. It really does beg the question, has Oda done this because he feels like this is his way of saying, my bad for not giving the bounty hunters some form of presence in the story? So now this is my way of doing so by instead going after criminals, pirates, that this group is going to be targeting the Marines and issuing out bounties and providing valuables to them, resources, income, whatever it may be. And you can also look at it in another aspect too, is why I wanted to bring this up, because when we look at things right now, we are going to eventually be entering this so-called final war, the Great War for the One Piece itself. And we know that what Luffy, Law, and Kid have done so far in Wano has been a catalyst that's going to eventually lead to that going down. And we still have to see what's going on with the likes of Shanks and Blackbeard and everything. But I also feel like this is in a way disrupting the balance of the world, and it's going to cause another catalyst that's going to instigate that war to speed up a lot quicker, with the likes of the Cross Guild coming in and basically targeting the Marines and going after them. We now have the group that is supposed to signify justice. Obviously, we've known from reading this story for as long as we have that they don't represent that whatsoever. There are some good Marines, of course. We're not going to say that all of them are completely bad, but as long as Akainu is at the helm, for the majority part, they need change. And if this is the change that we're looking at, even though this may not be what Buggy's actually doing, this is more so him getting revenge after being attacked and targeted by the world government and the Marines. I feel like this honestly could be the thing that ends up changing the world for the better in some capacities. Maybe from an outside perspective in terms of the Marines and the world government, obviously this is bad. But from us to the readers, there's a good chance that this may end up being something that ends up being for a good cause in the long term. Now, we still need to get things taken care of in terms of what's going on with Mihawk and Crocodile, why exactly they joined forces. We know that Mihawk now apparently is sporting some kind of scar. I don't know if it's been given by Buggy or by somebody else, but the fact that he's working under him is still crazy. Crocodile is someone who I feel like may have another agenda going around about him in terms of what he wants to do with this group. Then again, with Yonko, Buggy, I don't know. Like, this is one of those things where I feel like if he does have the clout, if he does have the power, now that he's one of the 4 great emperors of the sea, there's a lot that they know that they can get with when it comes to Buggy, that they can actually stay under his umbrella and that they'll be fine completely as it is. Because Mihawk is going to be targeted. We know he's going to eventually get a bounty at some point. We're actually going to see the frozen bounty that he's supposed to have, what it is now in terms of the current date, and especially what's going on to with Crocodile. And even though we know at the moment the likes of Buggy, Mihawk, and Crocodile are currently associated with the Cross Guild, there is a chance that other characters may end up being involved at some point in time, but these are the 3 we're focusing on right now. Like, we still need to know what's going on with Boa in terms of her encounter with Kobe. We still got to figure out what's going on with Weevil. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if this group ends up being an affiliation of the former warlords working together under one umbrella. The umbrella, of course, of Buggy, that they're going to be targeting the world government and the Marines for basically just going off the grid, taking them off in terms of their connection, their link, their contract, you can say. And now they're going back at them and saying, nah, like, you want to come for us, you want to come for our territories, you want to come for our people. That's not going to happen. You want to put a bounty on our heads? Well, guess what? We're putting one on your heads. I could see that being the case as well. I am curious to see, like, if there's other members that are going to end up joining after too, because it does feel like if it is in fact that they are going to be in fact giving out like these rewards, these prizes, these valuables, whatever it may be that Buggy has, whatever ended up happening with Buggy is going to be key. Like, Oda really needs to tell us exactly what transpired on Buggy's end that ended up leading to him becoming a Yonko and acquiring the power that he has right now in his arsenal. That, I believe, is something that is going to explain a lot of things, why Buggy's now in power, why the Cross Guild was created for one, and where basically we're going to go now in the story with Buggy basically at the helm of it all. I am curious to know what you guys think down in the comments below in regards to this whole thing regarding the Cross Guild, their role in the story so far. How are we feeling in regards to them now being brought into the story? Do we think that they are going to be playing a role in what leads to us getting into the actual war of One Piece itself? Because we know what Luffy and them are doing right now, but could this be another route that we see that leads to this war happening? And the whole thing going on with now the Marines and the bounties being issued to them, do we think that there is a chance that this is Oda's way of saying, my bad, I'm not focusing on bounty hunters, this is what we're going to be doing now going forward? I'm curious to know what you guys think down in the comments below. And basically, what do you make of it now? Like, what are we going to actually start focusing on Marines actually being targeted? Is there going to be a cap limit to this? Are we going to focus too on the likes of the Vice Admirals? Are the Admirals going to even be in the equation? I mean, is someone going to go out there and target Akainu? I think that would be crazy, but if the money is right and they got the power, who knows? Even though it's very unlikely. Curious to know what you guys think down in the comments below in regards to the Cross Guild and how you see things panning out with their role in the story, and how important do you think they are going to be entering the final stages of the One Piece manga. Like the video if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here. If you want to be part of the weekly experience when it comes to my coverage of One Piece week in and week out, subscribe if you haven't already. Click on the bell at Shandora so that everything goes on the channel. With that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video. Commodore Lad signing off. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care.